Because what I'm trying to, as well as seeing if it like what effect it has, I'm trying to see if there's ways to enhance it. I mean, a lot of people going with the Mozart effect, like classical music. So I'm trying to see if I can do something with modern day music, and see if there's ways of taking bits from each of these genres and kind of putting them together. And not like creating the ultimate concentration, but kind of like making it relatable to like.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you talk about the Mozart effect, what that is what I was describing at the start. It's music that has quiet periods that you really maybe have to listen to. It does have a strong melody, but it's instrumental, obviously, and that's what the evidence would suggest works best. But there's types of modern music that come into that category, some of the kind of ambient music and so on. I would have grave reservations about, things like rap and so on as helping concentration in that setting. There are other settings where it might.
I mean, we're talking about like the use of vocals and lyrics. Do you think it's depending on what you're teaching? I think you can sometimes get away with maybe. Say if you're teaching like a language or trying to get them to concentrate to learn a language, like maybe having kind of vocals in the background, does that help, or does it kind of? Do you still think the instrumental thing?
I think the instrumental thing is quite important, because when you're listening to music, if you are concentrating on, I mean, I don't know enough about the mechanics of the brain and how it works really, but if you're tuning in to listen to lyrics, that is more distracting to the other work that you're doing than simply listening to a melody.
Right, so keep it purely instrumental.
I think keep it instrumental.
What sort of like, kind of if I was to carry out these tests, like what sort of stuff's quite effective? Is it just like using sort of like wee puzzles like word searches and sort of jigsaws, or is it worthwhile making it more advanced and trying to...
If you were able to do it through a teacher or teachers doing it, then you really want, it's best to do it when they're carrying out normal sort of activities rather than a special activity. You don't want them in a way to think that this is a sort of set up special activity. It's best if you can have them hardly realising that there's an experiment going on.
Right, yeah.
I mean, one of the best things I ever saw in using this in a school, and I'm sure maybe your teachers would do the same, if further up the school, maybe once people are 15, 16 or whatever, if they're being set a task to do a writing task, and it's for 15 minutes or whatever, then that's the time to put music on, so that it's for a definite kind of time span, and you can really see. I mean, there were quite spectacular results, improvements in concentration, simply because the noise was, I don't know, it was taking away the need for them to make their own noise. In a way, so you would get, well, you wouldn't get absolute silence because the music's on, but you would have absolute silence from the people who were working and concentrating.
I was just wondering if you also had any advice on like the best way of like presenting this type of work, because at the end of the year we have to do like an end of year show and present this sort of our findings. Is there any like better way of presenting it, or because I don't want to just put like big boards up with all the statistics. I mean, I want to try and
no, I mean
more sort of eye pleasing sort of.
Yeah. I take it. No, do you use PowerPoint?
Yeah, I've used it. Yeah.
I mean, a kind of PowerPoint type thing which people can, run through themselves.
Sort of make it interactive.
Yeah, is good. Perhaps, I mean, I don't know whether within your, is it Abertay?
Yeah, Abertay, yeah.
Whether within Abertay there would be any opportunity for you to do some like experimental work, say with some first year students.
Yeah, I think apparently they've got a psychology department in it. I'm trying to get a hold of them recently, see if they can spare me some.
Yeah, but and if that was the case, then videoing it, just clips of it and so on, putting that into a PowerPoint presentation where you can you can embed anything into it would be really good. But you almost, I mean, in doing anything like this, you have to have an idea when you start off of, well, firstly you have to have a hypothesis. You know, what is it you're trying to show? Yeah. And you must have a pretty good idea of what your conclusion is going to be as well. So while you carry out your scientific research in an unbiased and absolutely down the middle sort of way, you still know what it is you're wanting to get to.
So that's why I'm at just now. I know the start, I know the end. It's just getting the middle
together.
You know, seeing, just for, is there anything that you think I should be kind of wary about? I'm carrying out this sort of research. Is there anything that I should maybe?
Actually, the only thing would be if you're thinking in any way of getting involved with schools, you've got to go through the kind of head teacher route to get permission and so on. Because you don't want to end up with any kind of delays or whatever because of that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else about specifically music in that sense that's relevant that I can suggest.
I think I was going to ask you as well. So I've been looking at, I was speaking to Alex at uni. He was talking about because the way that I word it sounds kind of like vast. He says that I should maybe try and refine it down to more whether I want to go towards the learning side or the attention sort of side. Mm-hmm. I just want to know what kind of like the main differences between the two are, kind of thing.
One depends on the other to an extent.
Yeah.
You've got, I suppose stage one is grabbing the attention of people so that they are willing or they're in a position to learn, if that makes sense. But within the range of students, you have people who have recognised behavioural difficulties, whether maybe got ADHD, you know what that is, and so on. That they are. Well, it's a different study in a sense, or it's a different goal that you've got in trying to use music to moderate their behaviour from what it might be with a higher class, where you're setting them a 30-minute task and can reasonably expect that they will get on with it for 30 minutes, whereas with your ADHD type individual, if you get 30 seconds, you're doing well. But don't ignore either the other thing that suggested that music as a subject, not the music itself, but the interest in music is also a good, is a factor in developing a good relationship and concentration in that sense. And you might find that, I'm sure you would be the same yourself, there would be some teachers in your school who you respected and some who you didn't. And the ones that you respected were probably the ones who had demonstrated the most empathy and most interest in young people. And if they were interested in the same sort of things as you, then that was a very, very good start.
So just trying to get something they can all relate to, sort of thing.
Yeah. I wish I could help you a bit more, but
this has all been great. There's some stuff up there.
Right.
So that's all of it now. Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
Thanks so much for that.
Okay.